everyone, and welcome to Lipstick on a Rig. Today we're going to be crocheting this beanie, and this pattern is an adaptation of a pattern that I found on the Hopeful Honey. For this project, I'm going to be using size 4 medium weight acrylic yarn, and this is just the Big Twist Value brand. And I'm also going to be using a size F or 5 crochet hook. And if you haven't already, then please check out my precursor to this video, and that is my How to Crochet a Beanie Brim. And for that video, I crocheted a brim that is 9 stitches deep and roughly 16 inches wide. And I also connected the two edges of that brim together like I show you how to do in that video. And from here, I'm just going to turn my brim inside out, like that, and that sort of hides that ridge there. And I'm sectioning my brim off into 4 equal parts using scrap yarn. And from here, I'm going to chain 2, and then we're going to place 20 single crochets in each of our 4 sections so that we have a total of 80 single crochets. And I'm just going to be crocheting over my tail, and since we don't have any traditional stitches, we're just going to have to place these single crochet stitches in the available loops going along the edge of our brim. And the chain 2 does count as our first single crochet stitch. And once you have your 80 single crochets in place, then we're just going to place a slip stitch in the top of that chain 2 stitch. And from here we're going to chain 3. And then we're just going to place 1 double crochet in the back loop only of each stitch in our row. And when you get to the end of your row, you're just going to place a slip stitch in the top of that chain 3 stitch. And from here, we're going to be working in these front loops on our single crochet row. So to begin our pattern, we're going to skip the first stitch right here, and we're going to place a triple crochet in this second stitch right there. We're just working in that front loop only. And then from here, we're going to place a single crochet in the next 3 stitches. And then we're going to place our triple crochet in that same stitch that we just placed our first one. We're going to leave 2 loops on our crochet hook. From here, we're going to yarn over once, and then we're going to skip 3 of our front loops, and we're going to place our stitch in this 4th front loop right here. We're going to yarn over and drop that loop, then we're going to yarn over and drop 2 loops, and then yarn over and drop 3 loops. So sometimes when you first start working this pattern, it might be easier to work backwards. So we're basically going to place our 3 single crochets right here. And that last single crochet should line up with our triple crochet right here. So starting right there. We're just going to place 1 single crochet in these 3 stitches. And from here, we're going to place a triple crochet right here in that same stitch where we were working. We're just not going to finish it entirely, just like before. Once you're down to having 2 loops on your crochet hook, you're going to yarn over, and then you're going to skip 3 of your front loops, and you're going to finish out that stitch right there in that 4th front loop. Make sure that when you have 3 loops on your crochet hook that you yarn over all 3. And then again, we're going to place our single crochets in our 3 stitches. So this is your first single crochet, second, and our third. And that's going to be our pattern for the entire row. And when it comes to placing this last stitch at the end of your row, you're going to go ahead and yarn over twice, and then you're going to insert your crochet hook in that same stitch where you've already worked. And you are going to crochet this until you have 2 loops on your crochet hook. And from here, you're going to slip stitch around this first triple crochet here. Just like that. And then from here, we're going to chain 3. And we're going to place 1 double crochet in each stitch in our row. And when you get to the end of your row, make sure you skip that slip stitch, and we're going to place a slip stitch in the top of our chain 3 stitch. So to get started with this row, we're going to be working up underneath these 2 triple crochets. So we're going to yarn over twice and then insert our crochet hook up underneath those 2 triple crochets. Yarn over and drop the 2 triple crochets, and then we're going to yarn over and drop 2 loops until there are 2 remaining on our crochet hook. Then from here we're going to yarn over once, and then we're going to insert our crochet hook up underneath these next 2 right here. Yarn over and drop the 2 triple crochets, yarn over and drop 2 loops, and then we're going to yarn over and drop 3 loops. And so from here we're going to place a single crochet in our next 3 stitches in the top of our row. And so from here we're going to work around these 2 triple crochets that we've already worked right here. And we are just going to drop 2 loops until there are 2 remaining. And then we're going to yarn over once and then work up underneath this next set of triple crochets. Drop 2 loops and then drop 3 loops. And then again we're just going to place our single crochets in our next 3 stitches. And then we're just going to keep repeating this pattern going all the way around our row. And when it comes to placing your very last stitch, you're going to yarn over twice and you're going to work around this same set of posts that you were already working in. And then once you have 2 loops remaining on your crochet hook, you're going to yarn over and then you're going to work in this first set of triple crochets right here. And then you're just going to place your 3 single crochets just like normal. And so from here we're just going to place a slip stitch in the top of that next stitch just like that. And then we're going to chain 3. And then we're going to place 1 double crochet in each stitch in our row again. And when you get to the end of your row, you're just going to place a slip stitch in the top of that chain 3 stitch again. And from here, we're just going to repeat the steps that we placed for our last row of triple crochets. So we're going to begin with this set right here, directly under where our crochet hook currently is. Just like that. And then we're going to place our 3 single crochets just like before. So we're just going to be repeating these 2 rows over and over and over again to build the body of our beanie. And I went ahead and repeated those 2 rows for a total of 20 rows. And so after you've placed your slip stitch at the end of your last row, then we're just going to cut and tie off the yarn. And I cut a strand of yarn that is roughly 2 feet in length. And I'm just going to draw this strand of yarn up underneath these triple crochet stitches going all the way along the edge of my beanie. And once you're done running your strand of yarn up underneath these triple crochets, then you're just going to grab both ends of your strand of yarn and pull them nice and tight. And we're just going to tie these 2 yarn strands together a few times. And in the description, I will link to my DIY pom-pom maker. Please let me know in the comments below if you experienced any issues while you were making this, and I will do my best to help you out. If this video helped you, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel, Lipstick on a Rig. Thank you so much for working with me, and I hope you have a wonderful, awesome day.